Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris. I'm excited to get right back into recruiting, right back into this Dynasty. I'm controlling the Miami Hurricanes. My friend Rylan Austin is controlling Virginia Tech. Shout out to the Virginia Tech fans if you're here for that. Also, shout out to General Manager Games. Follow him on YouTube, his YouTube channel, Twitter, the whole thing. Also, I know there are fans out there. I know there's an FSU fan watching. Shout out to you. Any college basketball fan or anybody interested in recruiting, the whole thing. Hopefully you guys like the series. If you do, hit the like button and also be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. So we're going to get right into it. It's July 4th. I want to take a look at some things. Ivan Nicholson, we got him on a visit. I like that. Again, 4-star prospect out of Florida, so he's a priority for us right now. And again, we're just trying to make some moves. We've got 5 scholarships to offer. We need to get some guys on campus. Terrence Richardson, another 4-star prospect, got him on campus. So I like where we're at. It's very early in the process. Again, July 4th, we've got to go all summer long. You can recruit in the fall. Actually, it says you can recruit all the way through April, so it's a full year of recruiting. It's obviously the reason why you do this game. If you guys like this game, like this simulation, have some comments, be sure to hit in the comments. Or if you have any questions about it, I'll try to answer the best I can. But again, just kind of going through this, we're going to do some scouting of camps, national camps, and also regional camps. Try to get as much scouting information as we can on these guys. We have a call list. We're going to offer guys. So this is big. I'm excited about it. I know we have a lot of work to do. I know it's not going to be easy. And it starts with this national camp. So there's 3 of them to choose from. And we picked the New Jersey one. So again, just a reminder, here's a look at the season calendar. I thought you guys might like this. I'm going to keep bringing this up so you guys can kind of follow along with where we're at in the process of the year. So again, we're starting in 2020. We're using the real Miami roster. And that means we've got 5 scholarships to fill with 5 seniors on the team. So we've got our hands full, but I'm excited. Again, doing the Memphis Hoop Summit and the Big Apple Showcase, I'm not sure, like going back, if I would have done both of them. Now that I've kind of seen how things are working out for us, I probably would have only chosen one. But that's okay. It just means we're going to recruit more players. So here's our recruiting big board. Just to recap, we've got some big time guys. This is the Southeast region. That's a priority for us. We can take a look at by position. But again, because we purchased the gold report for the Southeast region, we have all this information about the GPA and our interest level. Again, here's Ivan Nicholson. He visited our school. So I want to take a look at him as well, just to make sure you guys see where we're at. So we're sitting there 7th, Florida State right there. You see Central Florida. So you got to feel like, maybe location will be a factor with them. And again, kind of the plan is on these 4-star prospects, I'm going to trust the evaluation, trust the rankings. And then with the 3-star guys, I want to make sure I find hidden gems. So that's why we're going to these camps. And also, it's also for these 4-star guys we're going after because they're going to take some work. And I want to make sure if we're going to go into a battle that we know that it's worth all the time we're going to need to put into winning those. So again, we can call guys each week. We can offer scholarships, watch the film. Watching film is good because if you don't know if they're going to be at the camp or not, that's why watching film is good, because you can identify, let's watch film, get a scouting report on them. Just talking with Ivan Nicholson again, trying to pitch playing time. I feel like that's always a good thing to go to. It would be nice to be able to know exactly what he's interested in, but we're going to take some gambles. And again, we've got our call list all set up. The assistant coaches will be making calls as well. And the way it works is anybody on your call list, it's $5 a week each time that they're on your call list. So it affects your budget. You can add 50 guys to the watch list, 50 guys to the call list, but I want to narrow down the call list and then just have a big watch list. So again, that Gold Star report, we find out if they're interested, we find out their GPA. I like that. And then the evaluations start to come in. I definitely, I like some of these guys. I'm hoping for as many 4-star prospects as possible. maybe we can get 2 or 3. 3 seems like it'd be great out of our 5. And the way it works too, just a reminder, so when you have the scholarships, you have 5, but you don't just get to offer everybody you want. You can only offer the amount that you have. So, revoking scholarships might be a thing. We might pull back on them. Again, Richardson and Nicholson visited. Richardson's a guy you see a lot of big time SEC schools in there. Obviously Kentucky stands out. So people like Richardson right now. It seems like we don't know exactly who's offered and things like that, but I think he's a good player, someone we'd like to have. Again, at this point, I don't want to be picky with 4-star guys. If they're willing to come, if they're interested, we're going to take them on and hope for the best. It's the 3-star guys. I feel like we need to scout a little bit more, make sure we get the right guys. So, yeah, stuff with Terrence Richardson. He doesn't have anything to say about it. Hopefully maybe something will work here. It's one thing it is kind of interesting to go after conference prestige or something when he's got so many other either ACC schools and SEC schools. I assume have good conference prestige. Maybe the ACC is a little bit higher, so maybe you get a little bit advantage. So close to home is important to him. So that's good. Good to know. And just kind of moving things along a little bit. So just kind of looking at the next guys, and obviously he does some things well. So, but yeah, it should be good. We've got some work to do for sure with recruiting. We need to get as many good players as possible. And taking a look at our watch list and just, again, staying with that Southeast region. So these are all the guys on our call and watch list. I want to narrow that down a little bit. So Jonathan Taylor, that was interesting. So before we called, he had no interest. And then he said he wasn't interested right there. And then we kept him on the phone and he listened. And then, and it moved up to cool. But now it's back down to no interest. So I don't know exactly what happened there. But I don't know if I want to fight that. If he's just not interested, we kind of want to move on. So John Boddicker is a top 60 player. But man, it'd be really nice to have Jonathan Taylor running our program. 13 assists per game is crazy. So his ratings would come back good there. And yeah, that'd be a great way to start the program. You can kind of build around these guys when you get an elite player. Yeah, that's what he said last time. So just give me 5 minutes. Let's see if this works. See, that's interesting. Before he was okay about it. Yeah, things just kind of changed, but it's something to monitor. So it does go back up to cool. I don't know though. I really don't know what to think with this guy. I don't, he's an elite player. So I don't, you don't want to give up on him, but I don't know. We've got some other guys and point guard. It feels like we've got a lot of point guards. I like a lot of these guys. Again, these guys right here are kind of the guys we're looking at more in John Boddicker. Yeah, I like him. Again, the size, he rebounds the ball really well. And he seems to like Miami, so you got to like that. Again, we want to bump all those cool ratings up to warm, get people excited about Miami. And again, we're going to check in with Virginia Tech later in the show, later in the episode to see how everything goes with him, with Ryland. I like that we have some competition. It's cool to do these games by yourself, don't get me wrong. And I understand that. And I typically, you typically would. But it's really going to be cool to see maybe what he's doing. I don't know exactly what he's doing, but just kind of get his take on things and learning as we go. And a similar recruiting. We're recruiting kind of similar to the same guys. It's down at the bottom, even though they're 3-star guys, and Eric Bay, even though he's a 2-star. So, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting and competitive. I like that. I like that we might be going after the same guys, and who knows? And we haven't quite seen that I haven't been looking, and it's early in the process, but I haven't seen Virginia Tech pop up yet with guys we're identifying. So, but maybe eventually it'll cross over. But man, there's just so many recruits to go after. John Boddicker. He seems, man, those top 100 prospects, these top 10 schools right here, I don't know how legit that is because obviously they're not big time guys. I mean, how is he in there? How are they in there for a 4-star guy? So, with that, let's go ahead and, he didn't want to talk. I was trying to pitch the conference prestige to maybe, because Miami obviously has an edge over those schools. And maybe it's just early. Maybe it's top 10 schools are kind of all over the place because it's early in the process. Cordell Everhart, I like him. Again, another point guard. Got some intriguing point guards to look at. If we're not going to be able to get Taylor, we've got to get somebody. I said earlier, with the 5 scholarships to offer, I'm open to any position. I want to grab the best available. However, we've got to get a point guard. We definitely want to get at least one. Because with Chris Likes graduating, the only one left on the roster would be Isaiah Wong. While I figure he can start, we certainly can slide him over to the 2. And he's a sophomore for the upcoming season. So, again, when Likes leaves, Isaiah will be a junior. So we will need that next point guard. That's why I'd say point guard's a priority for this class. But other than that, it's just kind of the best available. But again, obviously you don't want to go 5 guards and things like that. But I don't want to be too picky about, we need to grab 2 point guards or 1 point guard, 1 shooting guard, and a small point. I just want to get the best players available. Adariel Brown, I like him. The athleticism for a point guard, that's good. Passing, scoring, good mix, ball handling, I like him. Yeah, that's good. I like this guy right here. I like that he's got 2.5 steals a game. Scores the ball a little bit. Those top 10 schools. Nothing scary. Obviously, South Carolina's in there. That's where he's from. So, but yeah, I like Adariel Brown. Let's see how this will go here. Again, trying to figure out something that'll work when we make these calls. So, and a lot of it is a learning process. And a lot of this, one of the things I want to show you with this series is maybe some of you guys are either new to college basketball recruiting or maybe don't understand the timelines or maybe what all goes in. I think this game does a pretty good job of really breaking it down. I really love the calendar. I think that's big. I think sometimes as fans or even people in the media, we tend to lose track of when coaches can do what and call and evaluate and watch film and have guys on campus, the whole thing. I think that's a little bit lost. So this game does a good job of showing that calendar. And, even though this is just getting started, I really feel like a lot of the decisions I'm having to make between players are some of the internal conversations they have to be making at UM with the basketball office, with their staff, where they are as a program. They have the ACC. They've got some positives with the conference and with the things that they've been able to do. The 3 recent trips to the NCAA tournament, the Sweet 16, that they won the ACC in 2013, the whole thing. They've got positives, but they're also facing uphill battles in the conference. They're not North Carolina, Duke, those kind of programs. Louisville obviously has done well. Syracuse has more program prestige and things like that. So Miami has to battle that. And they don't have, for a state as big as Florida is, it doesn't produce as many high major Power 5 conference recruits as you would necessarily think. So you can't just bank on the local recruiting with Miami, particularly South Florida. There's oftentimes Miami doesn't have very many Florida players at all on their team. So there's a lot to battle. There's a lot that goes into recruiting. And you're figuring this out. You're trying to balance things out. Our guy's really interested. what things can we grab? Obviously, you want the 5-star guys, and Miami's done a good job grabbing guys, really high-profile guys. I certainly would love to have a 5-star guy on my team. We are not in the mix for anyone. Jonathan Taylor was our closest one, number 4 point guard in the country, and I feel like we're not necessarily making good ground with him. So, it definitely is a challenge. There's no doubt. But I say that, and like every school's got their challenges. I mean, just because you're at, KU, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, doesn't mean they don't have challenges either. They've got to get the top of the top guys, and they can't have busts. They've got to hit, and they've got to win at a high level. There's not as much pressure at Miami to do well. But, I mean, every school, low major schools, again, it's hard to get into the NCAA tournament when you're at those schools. You've got to win your regular season to set you up for the tournament. Sometimes your conference tournament is the only bid that gets into the NCAA tournament, so you got to win that. So there's a lot of pressure. And again, you're trying to find hidden gems all over the place, trying to figure out the best guys, the best fits. And again, with the philosophy, and I do want to make some adjustments on the game with it. But again, my philosophy, I want to have a fast-paced offense, an up-tempo offense. I'm not going to go heavy on defensive intensity. Whether that's a winning formula or not, I understand. But with where we're at right now, I want to work on having like an exciting offensive team. I still believe in, the 5 positions. I know everything's trending the other direction with positionless basketball and things like that. And I do like versatility with players, but I am okay with the traditional post, the center power forward combination. And that's kind of how I want to recruit. And I think it's big. If you're in a high major conference, I think, getting those post players is important. And I think we can still get quality guys at Miami. And I think that's the big thing that you see with, the mid-major programs, for example, there's not as many quality big men to go around. So they typically have smaller players, or their bigger guys aren't as talented. So you see the drop-offs at that position. So you will see that. But even at a school like Miami, there's ways to still have those big men, I feel like. So again, I'm cleaning up the list a little bit. I'm adding these guys. I just want them for now, I just want them on the watch list. I'm pulling them off the call list. Essentially guys that I want to make sure I can call. At this point, I'm okay with adding them back, but just to kind of clean things up a little bit. I don't want to, I want to make sure, again, we got some evaluations to do. We've gotten a good number of guys evaluated. And one thing I'm curious about is if the skill ratings change if we see them at a different event. I wonder how that works. And one thing that we haven't done is scouting live. I'm not exactly, because it costs money and things like that, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do there. I kind of want to go slow with it. It's kind of my mentality right now, just to see if, just to make sure we want to go after a guy. Maybe it's a guy like Boddicker. Maybe we go do that. Plus, I wonder, if scouting live helps with the player's interest in the school. That's what I'm interested in. I'll trust evaluations, not these other things. But so I wonder, the big benefits of it. But anyways, until then, we're just going to stick with watching them on film and getting some evaluation there. But obviously, if you think about it, scouting live, it seems like you would have a truer evaluation. So we'll take a look at that. But yeah, just excited to get into this camp series, the camp season, and we're setting all this recruiting stuff up. But I want to go ahead and, the national camps, there's Indianapolis, New Jersey, Georgia. We're doing the New Jersey one. And then for the regional camps, there's 5 different ones to choose from. And we picked the one in New York and the one in Memphis. Those were the 2 regional camps we did. Man, there is so many guys on our big board right now. And again, this is just the Southeast region. And and that's our focus right now. I'd like to open it up, but I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how smart it would be to go after guys outside of the region. Obviously, I feel like Miami's got a lot to offer. We got a program on the rise. We're trying to make things happen. Hopefully, we have a successful season. That's big for this dynasty as well. I feel like we can make the tournament this year, and that's going to be the goal. And I think that certainly would help with recruiting too. I feel like if we miss the tournament, I think that's going to be pretty hurtful with recruiting and moving forward. I think it'll kind of set us back, to be honest with you, because we've got good players and we shouldn't be able to make it. So again, just looking at Florida, see if there's any guys here. These are guys on our watch list. Again, just taking a look at it. Some 3-star guys on the list. Just keeping our eye on Marlon Few. You know, I like Marlon. Their GPA is good, solid player. B overall, B athleticism, scoring, rebounding. Doesn't block shots, but that's okay. Not an outside shooter, but again, that's okay. He's a power forward, so I like Marlon. I like what he has to offer here. Top 10 schools, Miami's 3rd, Florida State, so that'll be a battle. Yeah, the rebounds. I like that checks out. So the stats you see is 10.7 rebounds, and then his skill ratings, he gets the A in rebounding. So definitely doesn't seem like a false stat. So that's good. That's good. I like that. So many intriguing players on our big board. So now it is July 7th. We just wrapped up the national recruiting camps, and there were 3 camps to attend. There's one in Indianapolis, there was one in New Jersey, and one in Georgia. And we chose before the season began, before the recruiting process began, we chose to just attend the New Jersey one. So I want to check the results. And then as you can see there on the key dates, the season calendar off to the left, regional camps come up afterwards. And I chose to go to 2 of those, and it's the last 2 in July, the Memphis Hoop Summit and the Big Apple Showcase. Again, I'm focusing heavily on recruiting areas that I believe Miami has a shot with the Southeast region being a strong point. So that's my goal. Again, 5 scholarships to offer. Let's check real quick to see the results of the national camp. I'm going to pull this up right quick. So this starts off right here with the email. It's a full list of recruits that attended the Indy Elite Camp. That's good to know, although we didn't go there. So I'm going to skip over that. Although I see real quick just Daryl Brown out of Greenwood, South Carolina. He was the guy that we were going after. So anyways, just a name that popped up. But I'm going to scroll down here. And here's the East Coast Jam. That was the name of the one that we attended. So DeMarcus Rawlings from Wisconsin outperformed the rest, got in camp MVP. And then it lists the other guys that made the all-camp team as well. So again, full list of guys that went to the East Coast Jam. We're going to take a look at that. I'm excited to see how these guys fare out. And I think if we just click a guy, I'll just take the first guy. Yeah, so I just click on a guy, and then off to the left, skill ratings. That all shows up now because we went to the camp, the national camp. Again, Frank Abney out of Illinois. We now have a rating on him, even though we weren't recruiting that area. So that's good. I'm kind of looking at this. You know, you're seeing a mix of guys from different states. John Boddicker, obviously that's a guy that we targeted, so keep that in mind there. So just scrolling down. And this is nice, like just a wide variety of guys that it's essentially, I'm looking at it maybe as a way to get your toe in the water on some, going more national. Again, focusing just heavily on the Southeast. So yeah, and then this is the 3rd camp in Georgia. Again, just list of guys. There's David Anderson out of Fort Lauderdale, real close to UM. Yeah, let's just click on him. Yeah, we don't know anything about him. Maybe he's the guy we add to our watch list later. And speaking of the watch list, if you guys are playing this and maybe curious, but one thing that I felt that's helping me with it is I have a sheet of paper in front of me, and with the indicators of when you can just touch, like W is to add a guy to the watch list, or R is to remove them, just, because sometimes you forget what button does what, or how to schedule an event and things like that. So I made out that piece of paper as like a cheat sheet. So I found that helps me out rather than always have to check. But okay, again, East Coast Jam, coach, these are the players from a watch list that were there. So again, these guys are guys that we've already looked at. Again, John Boddicker at the top of the list. Okay, so this is good. Again, we got the skill ratings on him, and we did not scout him before because my philosophy is if they're 4 stars, we're going to go ahead and assume they're going to be 4-star. That's going to be in our range of a prospect. But now that we went to the camp, we saw him there. Now we've got some ratings on him. So good inside shooter. Again, he's 6'9". Scoring's good. Rebounding's good. Defense is okay. Athleticism, it seems like a good guy. Recruit notes, he didn't really stand out at the East Coast Jam. But again, for what we're looking for, he's still a priority. So I like that. I'm okay with that. I'm glad we got some ratings on him because we don't have to use one of the watch films. I'm just going to go down through the list. So Lamont Booth doesn't, he got that C rating. Overall, doesn't really look like a guy that we're going to target just from the jump. But man, I like getting all these scouting reports back because then you really can know how guys are. I'm just going to scroll through it maybe a little bit faster. If anyone pops up, and jump to Dotson. Okay, we got to do it one by one, evidently. I don't know why I jumped to Dotson. But anyways, that's Barlow. Here's Nelson. Again, C rating. Didn't really stand out. That's going to be a common theme. Okay, so this is a big one. He definitely played well. That's good to see. A center, 3.1 GPA out of Tennessee. His overall rating, he's number 28 center in the country. But he's got his C rating, but his scoring was pretty good. Defensive rebound could be better. Athleticism, not really there. And at 6'9", 260, you're not expecting maybe an overall, a big athletic guy there. But I'm going to add him to the watch list because he was a top 10 player. He did well. So I'm just going to add him to the watch list. It seems like a low prior or a low commitment from my end. I want to make sure I'm able to do that though. But anyways, here's Brett White out of Florida. Again, all Florida guys are on our target list. He didn't stand out. Yeah, so we talked to him a little bit. So again, overall C. Outside shooting was good. That seems to be about it. Decent score. But again, we're in his top 10 schools, and I expect that again, a Florida kid. I want something to pop here. Okay, here's one. We finally get that B rating. Decent, not yet not spectacular. But again, Eddie Thomas. These guys are already on our watch list. That's why it didn't pop up. But anyways, so Thomas is one that did well. And Marlon Few. So again, just looking at his stuff, and yeah, I like the athleticism. Inside shooting, so he can score, and his rebound's good. Like, I like this guy as well, so I like that. We definitely need to keep track of Thomas and Few. Dennis Call didn't do much. Again, he's basically just a shooter. He can score a little bit and he can shoot. And then Landon Reese gets that B rating. Again, you see the difference between Reese, more athletic, better defender, better passer. Looks like just a better overall player than Dennis Call. So good to know. Okay, kind of moving this thing along. Yeah, these are just in Las Vegas. Again, for our regional camps, we're only going to New York and Tennessee. And let's pull up the recruit players and see what we have here. It takes a little bit to load, but one thing that's interesting is all those guys that now pop up on our list of a scouting, and I wonder if there's some guys that we could really take a look at. Yeah, so this is all regions. Right here, we got them sorted by warm. Okay, that's good. Let's see if we can find That's our Gold Star report. Yeah. Those are the ones that we have the Gold Star report. Let's see if we got some guys. The Atlantic East. That's close to the Southeast. Maybe there's some guys there that we picked up reports on. Some evaluations. I think maybe that would be good. Just to add maybe there's some extra guys there. Again, with 5 scholarships we're trying to fill. I know we have to try to get, make sure we're looking at everyone. I'm going to sort it by evaluations here. So yeah, we got a number of guys back. Okay. Just starting this off right here. So again, not surprising with the 4 stars get the A evaluation. Interesting here, Kyle Jackson, a 3-star gets the A rating. Let's click on him and see what he's about. And this is how you have to trust your scouts a little bit here, but I wish he was a little bit more athletic. You like the other stats though. Again, 3-star guy. And I feel like the 3-star guys are guys that we definitely could get if we want them. That's the way I'm kind of looking at this with the recruiting. 4 stars going to take some work. It feels like in the 4 stars you're going to be competing with everybody in the ACC. 3 stars, maybe some ACC schools, but maybe you're going after mid-major schools that you're going to be competing with in recruiting. So if we're going after 3 stars, we definitely want to make sure you get that A rating. That's the way I look at it. I want to add Kyle I'm going to go ahead and add him because even though he's not athletic, maybe he's just a productive player. Other than his athleticism, which obviously is a big deal in the ACC, everything else checks out really well. Inside scoring, inside shooting is only a C, but he's a guard. Everything else looks good to me. So I like that. We're going to keep an eye on Kyle Jackson. I like that he came back. Again, I'm going to keep doing that with, and it's interesting out of Delaware. I'm interested to see if there's other 3-star guys. These 4-star guys, let's see. I'm not afraid of going after him. I guess we'll just start with Puckett there. Oh, he's a 76th overall player in the country. Yeah, again, man, it just makes me good player. Obviously scored a lot in high school. Doesn't wow me, to be honest, even though he's a 4-star guy. Not that I wouldn't take him, but if we're going to start making some moves and calling these guys, and I really want to be wowed by him. 6'7", 242. You'd like the rebounding to be a little higher, but he has a B rating. Let's go ahead and add Brad London to the list here. It's just to make sure. Again, obviously he's a top 50 player in the country. And also, it's nice getting these back with the 4-star guys because they're not a bust, essentially. If you, again, trust in your scouts, you're getting those A ratings. Again, I want to see that athleticism, though. If they're a 4-star guy, you really want that athleticism to be there if you're going to go all out on them. 3 stars, again, you saw with Kyle Jackson, productive player, didn't have the athleticism, but we're going to go ahead and add him. Let's see if there's some other guys. Cliff Brooks comes back as a B, the high rebounds. Let's take a look at him. And really, if they come back as a C on the skill ratings and they're a 3-star, again, poor athleticism, so that's not going to work. I kind of want to stay away from him. Okay, here's the guy that we like. Again, athleticism there. B overall. Seems like a really good player. Tony Hine out of Pennsylvania. They're right there on the border. That's on Eastern PA. Let's go ahead and add him. Again, hitting W. Add him to the list. I like that. I'm excited about him. Got Javon Cobb out of West Virginia. Again, not great on height. This small guy with bad passing or just average passing doesn't do it for me there. A bigger point guard at 211 pounds, 6'3". You like that? A solid player. Let's go ahead and add him. Again, out of North Carolina. Plenty of ACC schools in the state. Plenty of Division I schools in the state. But maybe he's a sleeper there. And again, adding guys to the watch list doesn't cost anything as long as you don't add them to the call list. So this guy, point guard, good passing, handling. Yeah, let's go ahead and add him. Again, the F stands out, but it's inside shooting. But he's a point guard, so I'm okay because his passing and handling, and he scores the ball, so he shoots it really well. Not a great defender. Let's put Nate Williams to the watch list. Again, 3-star guys, just trying to find some hidden gems. Terrible athleticism, we'll move on from him. Average. Only a couple more. LaRue Harper out of Virginia. So he's a good scoring guy, good defender. I like that out of the small forward position. Yeah, I like this guy. Good athleticism. We're gonna add him. And then our final guy that we're gonna even look at in Atlantic East, Brian Carr out of New Hampshire. Again, athleticism doesn't pop. A lot of D. Not a fan of that. So I like the guys we added. I wonder. Let's just look at these other regions just really quickly. I don't want to stay on this too much. Again, want to get to the regional camps, but just if anything like crazy pops that we're really excited. We got Greg Cheeks there. He comes back as an A rating. Maybe he's a sleeper. I'll click on him. Athleticism, poor. So I'm going to skip off that. Again, I want something to pop in these other regions. I'm not even going to look at the rest of the Midwest. Great Plains, we'll take a look at there. A couple of 3-star guys. Let's check out the small forward. Again, not a great defender, but a good scorer, inside score, looks like a solid player. We're going to go ahead and add him to the list. Again, looking for hidden gems out of this 3 stars. Looks like Watari Brown. I like that. Let's see if Mike Cross is a player. Mike Cross definitely looks like a player out of St. Paul, Nebraska. We definitely need to add him. Wow, really excited about him. Man, I'm glad I looked at these guys. Again, I'm excited to see more of these guys here. And last thing, just West Region. And that'll wrap it up. A couple of 3 stars. Let's see. They get the A rating. Athleticism's not there. 6'6", 196. So a little bit awkward position, but. And again, we'll add him. Wow. Athletic point guard. His rebounds are good. The 4 rebounds, he'll take that. Does everything really well. Let's add Williams Costello to the board. So here we are, July 28th. We just finished the first regional camp that we participated in, which is the Memphis Hoop Summit. So I want to check the results and see how our scouts did and see if there's some guys to look at. Maybe there's some hidden gems in there. Again, here's the list of guys that were there. A lot of guys from Florida. Again, David Anderson pops up from Fort Lauderdale. C overall. But I like that we're getting guys. Okay, let's go back through and see more of the list just to see if there's anything that pops open. And again, with the recruiting, I went ahead and made some adjustments just to make sure we were good to go there. So again, we're getting some ratings back based on the camps and based on watching film and and things like that. So I guess let's just go right into the Southeast region and see if there's some more guys that popped open that we should take a look at. Again, some things are starting to figure out a little bit with no interest and cool and warm. Again, a lot of stuff coming back. You know what? So here's the Memphis Hoop Summit recap. Again, Scotty Wilder, a guy that's been on our watch list, was named Camp MVP. Not surprised there. And yeah, so there's the all. So here's the results. So here are the results of our first regional camp that we attended in Tennessee. Take a look of all the guys that were there. There's some names that pop open to me. Again, David Anderson out of Fort Lauderdale. I saw him earlier. Just to see overall, nothing special there. Let's see, Kevin Barlow was a guy I remember. Just to see, again, just seeing if some of these skill ratings pop open that excite you. John Boddicker, one of our top prospects, he said it didn't really stand out at the Hoop Summit, but we're finding out location's a big deal for him. Out of Georgia, so we're making some moves. Again, top 10 schools. Haven't really seen that change. It's a little surprising given he's a 4-star prospect, but again, a guy we're still taking a look at. Daryl Brown, again, a guy that's visited. We have offered him, and he was in the top 25, so that's good. Although he did say we're basically wasting our time, but he visited, so we're going to stay on him a little bit. We're getting some news back on some guys. Cedric Danielson was a guy I remember. We end up moving off him, but you know, just some guys that are popping open here. Tony Fine was a guy I remember liking. Actually, that's not him. I think it was Hine. So maybe that was a little different spelling. He was out of Pennsylvania. But yeah, Marlon Few is a guy that's visited. We've went ahead and offered. He's not highly rated, 202 in the country, but I really like his high GPA from Florida. Looks like a productive guy. Solid 3-star guy, B overall, B athleticism. Not a program changer, but a guy I want in the program to be a kind of a good glue guy, a good rotation guy. That's Marlon Few. Again, he's visited. And yeah, so other guys, I remember JoJo Means was a guy. Okay, let's back on. Okay, I don't like the athleticism. Let's back on out of here. Landon Reese, Terrence Richardson. So there were a lot of guys that were at Memphis and a lot of guys that we've already seen. So maybe I should have expanded it a little bit more with these regional camps. I was a little hesitant on the New York one, just to see if we were going to go to that region. Again, more evaluations have been done. I've been watching some film. I expanded it to the 4-star guys just to make sure that there were guys that we wanted to go after. And you see some 3-star guys. You're hoping for the B. Definitely want the B. If there's any guys, here's one right here. Here's a 3-star A evaluation. No interest in the school. I want to go ahead and add him to the list though. Just to the watch list and see. Maybe that'll change if our coaches call him. Maybe if I give him a call, maybe that'll make a difference. Again, here's some other guys. Corey McIntyre, low-rated shooting guard, but again, evaluations come back good on him. Looks like a good player. We're going to go ahead and add him to the watch list. Again, hoping 3-star guys are hidden gems. You got to trust your coaches on the evaluations. Isaac Coleman, same thing. We'll add him to the watch list. We're getting far down on the list on the recruits. I understand we're right here. This is in the country, so we're getting close to the 400 level. And yeah, there's nothing down here that we want to really touch. We want to stay definitely in that 150 range, definitely in the top 250. If we can get a top 100 player, one of them would be great. That's kind of the goal. Let's go ahead and look at our call list. and we'll make some calls and see how things are going here. Again, we've got some guys. So we've got 8 guys that are warm on our call list. 7 of them are 4 stars. Let's see, 5 guys in the top 100. Again, hoping to land one of the top 5. I really like the chances with Boddicker. It seems like things have been going well with him for a while. One thing that's interesting is that Ivan Nicholson is a guy that we had visited, we've offered, but his evaluation comes back as a C. And he's a JUCO guy. His GPA is not great. He's a guy that I'm thinking about revoking the scholarship. Poor athleticism. That's not gonna work out. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take his scholarship off. And if I remember right, we were closer to the top 3 with Nicholson, and now we're down to 7. So we're not going in the right direction anyways. So let's go ahead and remove him. I'll leave him on the watch list just to have him. But I want to take him off the list to call at this point. And we'll go ahead and take the scholarship back. I don't know if that's going to spoil things. It's kind of a wait and see, so we'll see how that works. But again, not a huge fan of that. And here's another evaluation. Very disappointed. I've been high on him. His evaluation comes back terrible. 4-star prospect with good athleticism. Just a poor defender and rebounder. Rebounding is okay with the point guard. I'm okay there. I don't like that he's not good at defense. He can score a little bit, but not really. He can basically kind of just shoot it and pass it. I'd like for things to be a little bit better there. And then the D overall is really bad. We'll keep him on the watch list and on the call list. Since he's a 4-star guy, maybe the evaluation was wrong. But it's definitely something we need to pay attention to. Scotty Wilder, he was a guy that, let's see here. He had that MVP thing. So he seems like a good player. Let's give him a call and see how things go. We're just trying to guess here. Just trying to put some time into with him. And yeah, we'll just move on from that. We'll just kind of call these guys real quick. And then we have got the next regional camp coming up. So location's a big deal with John. We're going to call that. Make sure we talk about that. And, it's just trying to figure out the best way to go about this. Again, we're just trying to land one of these guys. One of these 4-star guys. Everhart's an interesting one. A C evaluation. Already cooling on him. I'm going to hold off on calling him. Rico Shin is a guy that's kind of emerged as a guy that we're looking at. Let's give Marlon a quick call. Coach Discipline's a big deal. So we'll talk about that and move on. What's interesting too is so we pulled the 1 scholarship. Let's go ahead and offer Scotty Wild. He had that big performance. I don't know if it's going to make a difference of location. Let's try to do another one as well. Let's go ahead and offer him and give him a call. Oh, it'd be great they're all at warm. It'd be great to, again, just trying to find out more information on these guys. Seeing if something works. Terrence Richardson's a guy that we've offered and he came down on the trip. But we're not in his top 10 right now. I don't know if it's going to work out with him. But we're going to just keep pushing him. That did not go well there. Let's just wrap up these phone calls here. Let's see what Billy Dondon. He likes the facilities. And he's a good player. I like that. And we're done with our phone calls for the week. And then we're going to advance to the regional one. Let's see the watch list real quick. If there's anybody we want to add to the call list that kind of stands out. You know, Dan Robinson's a guy, again, that low GPA. He was a guy that was early on. Are any of these guys that we should go after? You know what? I like this. A 6'8", 218. It's a top 200 player. Just want to make sure. Eric Harvey here. Let's go ahead and, I like the production there. Let's go ahead and add him to our call list. Landon Reese was a guy that I saw pop up there. Let's see how his skills came back. Really athletic, so I like that and can shoot it. Let's go ahead and add him to the call list as well. Landon Reese, where did he go? 2.8. Hopefully the GPA is okay there. Again, just trying to I feel like it's very fluid with these guys. But okay, I'll show you real quick the ones we have offered. We have 5 offers that are out. There it is, Boddicker, Wilder, Richardson, Everhart, and Few. 4 of them are 4 stars, and again, we have 5 to offer. But again, we'll pull them if we have to. So let's check out the next camp. So now we finished the Big Apple showcase, and we are on July 30th. And again, taking a look at the regional camp, seeing if anything pops up. Hopefully we can get a guy. Maybe there's a new area. Again, this is an area we haven't been recruiting very much. And there's a list of guys, and I'll just go right into recruit players, and we'll see if there's anything that pops open to us. I guess we'll start with the Atlantic East region. Maybe that's where some guys are. Again, the evaluations, trying to figure out if there's anyone we should just really go after or add to the call list, anything like that. Again, the 4 stars makes sense that you get stuff good back on them. So no interest there. Hine was the guy I was thinking about earlier. There's some BCs, nothing really jumping out where it's like, we've got to have this guy. Again, the B ratings are okay. Here's an A right here, Hollis Wright. Let's take a look at him. Why is he an A overall? Because he's really good at everything. Pretty solid, athletic. I'm going to add him to the watch list. I like what this guy has to offer. Only thing is outside shooting, but that's okay. He's a 6'7" small forward with good size. Could be a better defender, but not concerned about it. So I like that. He came back in A. Anyone else jumping out? Here we go. Diego Reese. I don't like that his athleticism isn't good. Everything else is really good, though. But he's out of North Carolina, so that's not too far from our region. So, but I'm going to go ahead and let's just go ahead and add him, because look, I like all the A's, the passing and the handling. That's good. It says he's a shooting guard. But if he has point guard skills, that's a nice little combo guard action for us. If there's anyone here. There's Diego Reese. Nothing really. I guess we can look at Scott King here. Just if there's anything, another point guard. Feels like we're going after a lot of point guards. Athleticism isn't there, so we're going to skip off that. Okay, let's take a look at our call list. Make some calls. We've gotten a lot of feedback from going to these camps. I don't know if I would have gone to them all. It feels like once we got these evaluations, then we really knew what to do with guys. And I feel like we've been overloaded with information. So I don't know if I would have done all those camps again. I probably would have maybe only went to 1 or maybe 2, and then just focus on what we had. Okay. All regions, look at the call list. Okay, so here we go. Here's our call list. Again, Kyle Jackson, not interested, but we've got a number of guys that are. Let's look here. I wish the Daryl Brown evaluation came back better. But I guess we have to check. We have to trust our scouts. He didn't stand up. Again, we'll go after our guys here. Let's just drill it there for him. See if that works. Just kind of mixing up some recruiting strategies. See what works. Scotty Water, again, we just offered him. He had a big time performance. I want to give him a call and see if there's anything we can do with him. So location. Okay, there we go. Making some moves with some guys. I'd love to be able to get a summer commitment, but man, it just does not feel like we're going in the right direction with that. Richardson is a guy that it doesn't feel like we're getting a lot of, we're not making a lot of progress with him. It feels like Everhart. Let's give him a call, see if there's anything that we can do well with. We gotta stay with him here. Is anything working with it, Cordell? Okay, that didn't really go well. Rico Shin, Adar, let's stick with him. Let's drill that location. Okay, this is good. So these guys down here were guys that I've added recently, and it looks like our assistant coaches have been calling them because I've not been able to call them, and they've been at none like Kyle Jackson, but now they're up to cool, which is exciting because Watari Brown was a guy that I was excited about, and we found out location's important. He's from Nebraska though, so that's not good. Yeah, little interest in coming to school. Location's a big factor for him. So that's disappointing. Maybe Tony Hine, good. Athletic, 6'4" point guard. We don't know. Let's... trying to think if we should give him a call or just kind of wait on him. Harvey, poor athleticism. Let's drop him then. Again, just finding out more about the guys. We'll add him to the watch list. Landon Reese was the guy that we just went ahead and added. Reese is out of Alabama. Watari Brown. It just doesn't feel like we're going to be able to get him. But maybe we'll leave him on there. We made some progress already. What's Billy Dondon's thing? Facilities is important to him. Let's go ahead. Let's just give him a call and talk about facilities. So that'll wrap it up. And we'll check in with Rylan Austin at Virginia Tech and see how his camp experience went. And looking at key dates real quick here to see what the next thing is for us. The big thing is, so now that recruiting's done, we're still going to be dealing with recruiting. You'll see we're going to go into August. It's going to be the quiet period and then contact period in there in September. But the big thing in August was we got to make our scheduling decisions. We got to call the athletic director, figure out who we want to schedule for the upcoming season. Do we try to go essentially for the cupcake, try to get the wins, or do we, try to play highly competitive games? So it'll be an interesting decision. That's what we'll decide next week. But for now, just want to thank everybody for watching, but we're going to check in with Rylan Austin at Virginia Tech. Yeah, so how's the squad look? We finished up with camp season. Are you making progress, or how would you feel that things are going now that we're through the summer months here?
Well, I pretty much was hoping to get some interest from some of the higher level recruits that were initially cold on my school, hoping to flip them, get them a little warmer, and that seems to be happening. I got like 3 or 4 4-star guys I'm kind of focusing in on. I got 4 scholarships to give out, so kind of going 3 of those scholarships, hopefully get some 4-star guys, and then, land a safe one with a 3-star guy. The camp stuff, yeah, only one of my players I think performed well at any of the camps, and he was one of the 4-star guys. So the rest of my guys just participated, got the participation trophy, but didn't really do too hot. So that's pretty much where I'm at with the camps.
Yeah, those 4-star guys. What are you kind of finding out that's either working with you, or how have you been able to kind of make some progress with them?
Well, so far the conference prestige seems to be a big hit. Being in the ACC is helping when I'm talking with those guys. But I think that I've already done campus visits with all of them, and I've gone and live recruited them. They're obviously on my call list, so they're getting a call every day. And so hopefully just kind of being a little worm in their ear, maybe they'll start to slowly build up.
Sure. And then so you have 4 scholars. So like, kind of what is your hope with 4-star guys? Like, how many are you hoping to land in your class? What would be good for you think? How many?
I think if I could get 1 or 2 of these 4-star guys, I'll be pretty happy with that. Looking at my team makeup, I only have 2 4-star guys on the total team right now. So if I can get 2 4-star guys to come in, my game style is going to be that kind of high tempo 3-point shooting style. So I've even kind of cut some people off my list after I've scouted them and saw that their perimeter shooting was like a D. So I was like, well, bye Felicia on that one. So basically, I've been able to kind of narrow it down to guys who have good high perimeter shooting. Hopefully, if I can get two of my 4-star guys, the 3-star guys are, I feel pretty good about landing them. I'm even popping up on their top 10 list, so I feel like I got a shot with those guys.
Well, cool, man. Yeah, the next thing we do is we're going to do some scheduling for the upcoming season. I know that's a big thing. And then obviously we just continue to grind with recruiting. So, yeah, man, we'll check in with you next time.
Cool.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, later.